channel is well on its way of recording every single map on the workshop. Now, why was I dragged into such a clumsy, clowny, and stupid endeavor? I don't know. I'm always dragged into all types of nonsense, and I know I ain't the only one. We all have to participate in nonsense, whether it be this video, a job, school, or homework. I downloaded the additional add-ons, mostly because I pre-tested this before I started recording. So, there's two things you should keep in mind when downloading Hometown. Number one, it changes everything. The ammo, the recoil, the shake on the screen when you shoot the gun, everything. Which is perfectly fine. It's just that if you choose to download the additional add-ons, for some reason, it forces you to have infinite ammo. And it affects your game outside of this add-on. So if you were to randomly switch to dead center, the AK will still have 30 bullets instead of the 40. As well as all the other changes like the recoil, the screen shaking, and the weapon spread. I read the comments about downloading the additional parts, and they say a lot of the comments say it's not optional, or that it is optional, and that you shouldn't download it, and that it's your fault that you download the add-ons. And I can't disagree more. I mean, the additional add-ons add on to the immersion, other than the infinite ammo, which I'm not going to use. So there's really nothing hurting you when you download it except hurting your feelings, because I'm not going to lie, the new weapons suck. Oh yeah, I remember this clearly. The trick here is to not find in this alleyway. You got to get the hell out of here and find a good spot to hunker down and camp, like if it's Call of Duty. I'll give the map designer this. He updated this. Back then, you'd get your ass beat in that alleyway because the zombies would surround you before the cutscene ended. That's some good patching right there. Hey, Overwatch can take a few notes from this. I'll tell you that. Now, I know you're dying asking, what makes this spot better than the alleyway? The answer, the alleyway is a gateway to PTSD, because I used to get beat up in alleyways all the time. So I can't stay in there. I'll get my ass beat. I gotta be in this open area. It's better. Oh yeah, look at this. Look at this situation. Perfect situation to show off the incompetence of the bots. What a damn mess, bro. I don't know why this horde's going on for so long, but the bots could definitely not handle this amount of pressure. In long situations and long hordes like this, the only thing I can recommend to you is a weapon like the deagle or the melee, kind of like the guns I have now. Except these guns are kind of funky. I don't know why Nick's being a dummy and teleporting on top of me. Here I thought the bots weren't able to teleport if you were looking at them, as the comments say. Alright, horde's finally over. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, there is no point in getting up the AI, because when you get to that big tank fight, they'll instantly dodge the tank, because the AI suck at killing tanks. God, the recoil, the accuracy on these guns. You have to play this in order to notice how awful the weapon spread is. It's terrible. You just saw that? It's actually ridiculous how these are the pistols that you're going to use the majority of the campaign, and they're for some reason redesigned to be more realistic, when in reality they come off as just completely ridiculous to use. I don't even know how that boomer got me. This is the modified HP tank. If you guys didn't know, this tank's HP has been modified. You cannot kill him by yourself. So if you were to do this on your own, you'd have to spend at least like 10 to 7 minutes trying to kill this tank.
This gun feels good.
Here's a little magic trick I picked up on a few custom maps way back. Look at this, look at this. Take notes, fellas. Just wait a little second, the tank's being stupid. Don't worry, look, keep looking. Boom. You're gonna ask me, how did I do that? And you know what I'm gonna answer? It's a magic trick. You're gonna have to figure it out. But you're cheating. That's cheating. No, it's not cheating, because I'm using the map's design to beat the map at its own design. Now you're gonna say that sounds stupid, but it's not. Trust me. Once you get past 100 custom maps, you'll start picking up on these things and you'll start exploding just like I am. Trust me. It is not worth killing a tank with 2,000 HP. I mean, with 22,000 HP, it's not worth the time. Instead, you can kill them in a smart way. This is an example of work smart, not harder. Alright, finally. Alright, cutscene. So I want to tell you a few things about this cutscene right here that apparently a lot of people for some reason miss out on. And I'm not here to dish on the map. I'm not making a map review. So I want to talk about these cutscenes because these cutscenes are cool. Very cool. I'd say impressive when it comes to the Source engine. The only other game I can remember that has cutscenes, or a Source engine game that has cutscenes, is like Cry of Fear, and that was in Gold Source. But in this particular situation, every time you fail this campaign or this part 2 of this campaign, you have to re-watch this cutscene each time. That's the problem with cutscenes. If you fail, you'd have to watch this cutscene all over again, and it's terrible for people who play expert realism, because the only way to beat these maps is through repetition. Repetition is the only way to beat these maps. It's so damn brutal. So each time you fail, you're gonna have to watch this, which is horrendous. That's the only problem I have with these cutscenes. Now here's another issue I noticed, and this is the only reason why I noticed this issue is because I've played this map 10 billion times before I recorded this video. Because it's the only way I could beat the map, because if you try beating the map first time, it's not gonna happen. This is all scripted. This entire map, the second map, is completely scripted events. There will always be a horde here, there will always be a smoker there, there will always be mudmen here, there will always be well, I don't want to spoil it, but you'll see what I mean. Anything you see in this map is completely scripted. And here's the thing about scripts. They're like a double-edged sword, man. They could what's the word? Give personality to a map, or a certain part of a map, or make a memorable section of a map. But at the same time, if you were to fail or replay the map, it would become very apparent that it's a scripted event. Like instantly you'll know if it's a scripted event. You'll notice the difference between the director trying to spit in your coffee and the map trying to spit in your coffee. It's very noticeable. And when you have scripted events, the director is still working. Like the director will still try to destroy your day even before or after the scripted event. So that's why scripted events, in my opinion, are very, very risky. They're really high risk, high reward when it comes to map design. I'll tell you that much. Am I having a Spectrum moment? Why can't I shoot the propane tank? Am I doing something wrong? I remember just shooting through the wall. It doesn't work anymore. Let's go ahead and try a different angle, I guess. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, there we go. Now, if you didn't have explosive rounds, you're soft lock, baby. That's me joking around, but I don't know why that took me so long. I don't know why my brain took so long to figure that problem out. I have no clue. Now, this part I do remember very clearly from my playtesting. Now, here's a trick in this part. The hunters, if you stay on the rooftops, you're dead. I'm not gonna lie to you. You're not gonna survive 2 seconds. The bots aren't smart enough or fast enough to shove the hunters off of you, and they're not fast enough to kill the hunters, and they're not fast enough to basically to deal with the hunters. So what I did is get this MG with explosive rounds to do 2 things. 1, to kill the hunters, of course, but 2, for the explosive rounds to stun the hunters. That's the key. You have to get this MG or M60, my bad, M60, and camp out in this like little shelter area right next to the gas cans, and just use this M60 and you'll be fine. The problem with that is you guys are gonna think I'm cheating when I'm clearly not, because this map and its additional parts for some reason give you infinite ammo. I don't know why, I don't know how, and trust me, I've tried shutting it off. I'll play a clip of me trying to shut off the infinite ammo. This map forces infinite ammo on you, and I'm not sure why. I did everything in my power to turn off the infinite ammo, and it just does not work. I don't know why it doesn't work. I don't know why it turns on infinite ammo. Because I download the additional parts, and whenever you turn it off, it gets rid of the infinite ammo. So my solution to this problem, that way I don't look like I'm cheating, I use the pistols. And I'll use the pistols throughout the entire campaign, except maybe at the finale where I pick up a melee. And I'll only use these guns on their intended ammo count. Like, look at this M60. When I use up all the M60 explosive rounds, it'll go back to 150 ammo with normal bullets. But I'm not going to use the M60 once it runs out of the 150 explosive rounds. I'll just stop using it. Just like how the original M60, you drop it. So in other words, I'm role playing me having ammo, when in reality I have infinite ammo. So if I made that complicated, I'm just going to say this. I'm going to pretend it has ammo. There. Made it simple. Keep in mind that during this entire section of the campaign, as soon as you make that jump, the infected spawning rate has been increased. So every time you kill a special infected, another special infected instantly is replaced. I don't know why the map did this, and I don't know why. I'm trying to find a reason to why the map is instantly spawning special infected is as stupid as asking, like, what came first, the chicken or the egg, or what's the meaning of life? There's no point. I wish I could say the word, but I can't. You need to, instead of looking around for gas cans like what I'm doing, because I just don't remember all the locations of the gas cans, you need to remember where each 5 gas cans are so you can get through this instantly. That way you don't have to deal with all these special infected. Also remember, before you pick up the gas can on the roof, because if you pick up that gas can it starts the whole like hunter event, you want to leave that gas can for last, because I don't know, it's just risky. You should just get the other gas cans first, because you're going to be having special infected spawn while those 10 hunters are coming at you, and it's better to get the other gas cans, go to the camping spot, and then go straight to the fireplace so you can light the barrier on fire. That way you can progress instead of starting the gas can on the rooftop. Because if you start the gas can on the rooftop, it's going to take you forever to get all the other 4 gas cans. While you're getting those 4 gas cans, it's going to be special infected spawn. You get the point. Here it is. The iconic hunter spam. You know what? I'll tell you one thing. These scripted events, no matter how poorly designed they are, they give this map some life. I'm not gonna lie to you, it gives it some character. What other map is gonna do this? Spam hunters. Now, I didn't know this beforehand until I read the comments. And by the way, I read every single comment, and I have to digest and ingrain all your comments into my brain, negative or not. This is a reference to a SFM series called White Lie, somewhere where like Zoe is. All I remember is that Zoe blasts Coach at the end. It's hilarious. Now this is the part I was talking about. You hear the hunter spawning? When you light up this gas can, it enables a panic event. And now I'm pretty sure it's close to infinite, or at least it lasts for over like a minute. So the first thing I would do would be to rush, but since the zombies spawn in front of you, it's actually a bad idea. The horde does end, believe it or not. It does end, but it kind of tricks you into thinking that it's infinite. Discord is being rude, needs to learn to shut up. As I was saying, this is what I mean. The special affected in this section. Whether you finish the 5 or the 10 hunter event or not, the special affected will be spawning. For some reason I can't shoot this gas can. It's like hip-hop is wonky. The special infected will be spawning constantly here. This is why you want to get the hunter thing done last, and then shoot the gas can immediately. Alright, without further ado, I think it's time for me to start this panic event. Now this panic event is so special. You wanna know why it's special? Because it spams mudmen. This map has a very, very stupid, repetitive concept of spamming one type of infected at a certain sections of the map. It's done this like for the 4 times in a row now. I don't know what's up with the spamming. There's no mud here. You know what's funny? And you guys will realize this when I finish the map. There's like a total of 2 locations where there's mud. I think at the start of this part 2 of this campaign, and I think there's a little bit of mud in part 3. But there's only 2 pools of mud in the entire campaign. Yet the mudmen have been everywhere. They're everywhere. And in the original campaigns of Left 4 Dead 2, the only time there's mudmen that appear is either in the sewers or in Swamp Fever. As you know, swamp fever is literally a swamp, so mud makes sense. Mud men. As for the sewers, it's wet water, I guess. I'm actually not sure why they're in the sewers, but well, that's a last stand thing. That wasn't in the that's the last clown update doing that. As you can see, this map is abusing my poor AI, my next to dog intelligence AI. The thing about the bots is that they're good in the original campaigns. I would even say that they're good on the original campaigns and on normal, because these custom maps, this is a perfect example, spawn these special, the uncommon infected, and the bots are so bad at using pistols. Like, they really, I don't know what's up with it. Just look at this. Nick and Ellis instantly died, and Coach is struggling. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how I'm gonna get out of this situation, but I do have this MG with explosive rounds. So, well, I don't know. Let's see how this turns out. This is a damn struggle, and I ain't gonna be a part of that struggle. This is a really rare scenario in which the M60 is actually good. Map 3 of Hometown. Now this has the same issue with map 2. If you were to fail, you'd have to watch this cutscene every time you fail. Here's another thing I forgot to say. Just from experiencing this map again, I am positive that that second panic event is not a panic event. I think it's an infinite horde, because I was there killing those mudmen for a pretty long time, and it just wasn't ending. I think if I didn't just rush my ass out of there, my ass would have been grass. Now you're gonna ask me what just happened to my MG. I can tell you two things. One, it doesn't matter that if I kept the MG, because it only had 15 rounds left, and I can't use it once it's out of ammo because that'd be cheating. And my dual pistols were useless because you got an axe here. Now the real thing that happened is that I went to go take a break, and I went to go get some coffee because I'm recording this at 4:20, and my game crashed. Why did it crash? I don't know, and I feel like it has something to do with these purple textures. Now I have no clue why these purple textures are here, because I have all the parts. I don't know what's going on. I'm just gonna accept them. Yeah, I'm very used to looking at purple textures. In fact, I think purple textures are a novelty that people don't appreciate. It's time for me to warn you about the hard part of this map, or this part of the campaign. Part 3 of Hometown has two things going against you that make the map hard. Number one, it has a panic event. Number two, there's a tank coming up ahead of here, and the tank, I think he could, I don't remember much about it, but I think he could hit a car or something. And then after this is the parkour. And the parkour is weird because sometimes the bots can make the jump. Most of the time they can't. After that jump, it's an instantaneous infinite horde. Not instantaneous, it's a panic event. The horde does end. How can you tell the difference? I wish I could tell you how you could tell the difference between the two, but I actually have no clue how you can tell the difference. Most of the time a panic event is like, I think it gives you a warning, while an infinite horde is just the zombies shouting. Either which way, after that panic event, there's going to be two tanks that sandwich you. Now, if you're like me, you're going to be using the axe or the pistols, because for some reason, I'm pretty sure if I use the guns, you guys are just going to be, you're cheating when you have infinite ammo, even though the map forces me to use infinite ammo. And those two tanks are hard to kill because of the one, the area, and two, he can hit the truck downwards. The trick here is, I'll show you how you beat this map. Don't worry, I'll show you. I didn't even talk about this because I was talking about something else. I was talking about the panic events and the infinite hordes. I don't know what theme this map is going for. At first glance, it seems like the theme is World War II weapons. But then you just saw me pick up I think a FAMAS? Not a FAMAS. Well, I think it was a FAMAS. I have no idea what I just picked up. Not before I had this grenade launcher, I picked up a weapon. And I know for a fact, whatever weapon I picked up was definitely not World War II. There's no way that was World War II. I don't know when the FAMAS was made, but I know for a fact it wasn't World War II. Or I could be completely wrong. Who knows? And, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't see that coming. You don't, only in custom maps Only in custom map this happens. Ellis legitimately just killed Nick. Now, why did Nick? Oh, look at this disaster. This disastrous turn of events. Everything is going wrong, and we haven't even started the panic event yet. Alright, so this is the panic event I was talking about. I want to keep two things in mind here. This panic event does end, but it only ends when you get to a certain point. That point is when you meet the tank. There's going to be a rock that falls here. You're going to see me jump over it. This gap can easily end your run, so make sure you don't fall for the beginner's trap. You're going to ask me, why are you talking in third person? Oh, it helps me explain the map. Plus, I do it all the time in my own domain, my own series. And for some reason, dragged into this, but here you're gonna see me use the axe because the axe is broken. The axe is just completely broken. Okay, so here's a little lesson. The bots really are bad at keeping up with you in panic events because they're trying to kill the zombies and they're just not as fast as you. When it comes to the events like this, I would say do not stick with your bots. Finish the panic event, then go back to your bots. Because believe it or not, when it comes to tanks, the bots are useful because of two things. They shoot the tank, which is awesome because I can't shoot my primary weapon because my primary weapon has infinite ammo, and if I use my primary weapon, we're going to assume I'm cheating because it has infinite ammo even though the map... I've already talked about this. And whenever they go down, the tank focuses them for a second. You could swing the axe maybe 2 or 3 times. Get a good chunk out of his HP. So finish the panic event, then go back to your bots. Here's another tip that I hope some of you already know, but crouching, you can't shove crouching zombies. You know that? You can't crouching zombies. So if a zombie's crouching and you shove him, he's gonna beat your ass, man. Another thing I would recommend for these custom maps is to turn on negative LV. You know, the thing I was literally flaming a few videos ago, like a month ago. I think I was flaming the German censorship. But here's the thing about German censorship version of the game. You can play it if you turn on negative LV. I think that stands for low violence. And it completely eliminates all the clutter and it helps with frame rate. That's very helpful because in these custom maps, they just... The infinite hordes just keep going and going and going, or the panic events, and it's really useful to have a clear understanding of how many zombies are near you, how many zombies are in front of you, and not to have all that clutter that really messes up your melee swings. I really recommend you turn it on, even though it makes the game kind of lame. You don't see any cool gore or any of that, but I think you should turn it on because it helps with frame rate and it completely eliminates all the clutter, so it makes melee tech very easy. This is what I mean by keeping the bots alive. And you guys didn't notice it, but the tank behind us was focusing the bots instead of me, and it gave me some leeway to juke around the bots. Continuing on what I was talking about, the German censorship. There's actually good that came out of that because I really like playing on negative LV, you know that, guys? Maybe I do like censorship. Maybe I was crying about the wrong thing. I mean, censorship in general is just... It has its place, but a lot of the times it's misused. I really like the German censorship version of Left 4 Dead 2. It just makes the game so much easier. It's incredible. Hey, you guys should really try it out. The zombies disappear as soon as they die. No more thinking the zombie's still alive. You know how many bullets I waste on the zombies like death animation? The fact that I like the German censorship version, even though I made an entire video dissing on it, is I can't say my word because this isn't my video. I'm a guest in this stupid quest to finish all the campaigns. Alright, I know I said I won't use my primary. The rocket launcher, the grenade launcher at least has 30 grenades. So I'm gonna pretend I have 30 grenades, and I'm gonna pretend that I'm reloading. So you're gonna have to use your imagination here. You like that? I know it's hard to use your imagination nowadays, but imagine that I'm using the original grenade launcher. I have 30 rounds, and I'm reloading each time I shoot one of these tanks. I'm only using the grenade launcher here because for some reason, every map in this campaign forces you to kill the tanks. I don't know why it forces you to kill the tanks, but it does. Like, you saw the white barrier I went to? That white barrier, it only activates a safe house if you kill these 2 tanks. You can't just bomb rush out of this, and you have to kill those tanks. So the only way for me to kill this last tank, because it's not on fire, is to revive the bots and let them shoot the tank. There we go. Well, we just finished map 3 of Hometown. Bots saved the day. I cheated by using 2 grenade launcher shots. And I'm just going to tell you this right now. The last map would be impossible with just pistols. So I will be using the sniper. But I will roleplay that I have ammo. I will pretend that I have ammo. So I won't be spamming the infinite ammo. This is it. The final map of Hometown. And debatably the hardest part of Hometown. There's a lot of tricks I've learned to beat this map. Earlier, before the Last Stand update, you were able to glitch the tanks out with a ladder. You can't do that anymore because of the Last Stand update. There was a post or this lamp that you could jump on, which would make you invincible to the special infected. I mean, not the special infected, to the common infected. And you would have to use a sniper to kill any special infected before they got to you, because they could actually get you off the lamppost. That's one glitch. And whenever a tank would spawn, you'd jump off and you'd run around and you'd juke the tank. All those methods are invalid now. Or maybe the lamppost one. There was a glitch in the barriers, but those barriers don't work no more. So the only way to beat this map is through legitimate means, which is hilarious because I thought the only way to beat this map would be through exploits. Funny enough, you don't need exploits to beat this map. You just need to use a little bit of skill, and I'll show you how to beat the map. Trust me, there is a way. Okay, so there's a lot of things you want to keep in mind in this certain section of the campaign. Number one, the bots cannot shoot at the near end of the bridge, right somewhere like behind the truck, about like, let's say 20 feet behind the truck. They cannot shoot in that certain section of the bridge. They can't shoot. They'll just go down. They can't even shove. They're just unresponsive. The barriers. A lot of people say the barriers that you call down block the tank. They never work for me, so I'm not going to even try blocking the tanks with the barriers. The hordes. The hordes are very, very noticeably different from normal Left 4 Dead 2 hordes. I'm pretty sure this map has increased the common limit, so if you were to play with friends, it would be really laggy in this second horde. Not the first horde. The second horde is when the common limit is broken. During those hordes, you will have security zombies or the armored zombies, and you can't use the turreted gun, which is going to be your primary way of killing the zombies. You can't use the turreted gun against those zombies. There's going to be a few gas cans around, a couple explosive barrels. Try not to let the bots shoot those explosive barrels. Use the gas cans. Try to, there's going to be a helicopter that comes halfway through, and he's going to drop stuff. It's going to be like a bile jar, defibrillator, a Molotov. You want to keep that bile jar for the end of the campaign, and I'll show you why. Because at the end of the campaign, or at the end of the bridge section, you have to go and answer a radio, and that radio is going to take a really long time. You don't want zombies hitting you during that, so you want to save that bile jar. The tanks. Now the tanks are there. The map creator goes wild on the tanks on this map. There's an exploit you can use, or a glitch, where if you were to fail the map 1 or 2 times, I think the tanks will come periodically instead of together. Now, I'm not sure how you activate this glitch. The way I did it is I failed 2 times before I started this part 4 recording. That's how I did it. That's what worked for me, or how I beat it before. So I failed 2 times, and for some reason that glitches out the 4 tanks at the same time, and they come at like 1 or 2 at a time instead of all 4 at once. Because there's not much you can really do against 4 tanks in a map like this. It's very enclosed. except maybe run around in circles. You gotta have to try to light them all on fire at once. So try to glitch out the map so it spawns one tank at a time or two tanks at a time. Or if it's three tanks at a time or at the same time, I just don't see any way you can possibly beat this because it's too enclosed. Only for part 4 I am breaking my rule of only using my secondaries, because I can pretend that this is a sniper and use the stats that it's telling me right now. Let's pretend I have 40 bullets. There's an ammo pile up in the scaffolding. I'm gonna pretend I have ammo and I'm gonna pick up ammo every time I use it. Those tanks that come after us would be impossible to kill with the pistols, because the pistols are just they get me nauseous, if you want me to be honest. Like, the recoil just looks wonky. I can't describe it. The melees, yeah, it would work on the first tank, but then it wouldn't work on the second tank. So I am going to be using the sniper scarcely to beat those tanks. And if anyone's still watching, if we figured out how to turn off the infinite ammo, tell me how, because I really tried figuring out how to turn off that infinite ammo stuff. Is it even? I don't think anyone else is experiencing this issue except me. I must have messed up some setting or something. This first tank here, you don't need anything. You can just kill him with the turret and with the bots together. I should probably tell you that. Try to keep the bots alive for this, at least for the first wave of tanks, because after the second wave of tanks, you can let them die. It doesn't really matter, but I'd suggest keeping the bots alive. At least at the first wave of tanks. It'll make your life a little easier. Damn, this tank is being lit up. This tank just be turned into Swiss cheese, man. God damn. Being lit up. That was insane. Now that is what you call teamwork. Hear that? 8 minutes. 8 more minutes of this disastrous map. Now, here's time to get a raise, dude. So my boss said this map takes 10 minutes. I think this actually is 10 minutes now. You can fact check this by looking at the length of the video. I'll probably put chapters, make your life a little easier. Because, you know, my peer doesn't like putting chapters in his videos, but I do. There's a tank here, another tank that comes after this, after at least a 30-second infinite horde. Or a broken common limit horde. And then after that, it's another 3 tanks. And I believe after that, it's another horde. And that's when you fight the 4 tanks. After those 4 tanks, I might be wrong. I don't remember it clearly. But I do know that you run to the Hummer at some point. This is another case of scenario where the turreted gun is actually useful. This is like the only map I know that actually has a turreted weapon or a turreted gun that you could actually use, because most turreted guns are facing away from the hordes. This is a special case, a very special case. The strategy here is to use the turreted gun, switch to your sniper whenever you need to kill an armored zombie or a special infected, and just keep swapping between them. That way when the turreted gun is cooling down, you can use your sniper to kill the zombies to stall, so the weapon for the turret can cool down. You guys want to hear a cool fact about the turreted guns? If you didn't know this, when you're on the turreted gun, the tank tunnels onto you. Like, he'll only go for you. It doesn't matter what's going on. The tank could be in the middle of a punch, and he'll turn around and go for the person on the turret. It doesn't matter how far away he is, where he is, whether someone's a bile jar, he will always target the person on the turreted gun. Which means if you're playing with 2 people in this map, one person could be running around trying to muscle out the tank, while the other person could get on the turret and help kind of manage the tanks. You know what I mean? So you guys could be switching. That wouldn't really work, because the guy on the turret would have to run around too. But just, that's a fact. If you ever in a tough spot and your friend is in near a turret, tell your friend to get on that turret so you can save your ass. Yeah, you definitely want to save those explosive barrels. No, it's kind of a luck factor when it comes to those explosive barrels, because sometimes the bots will just shoot the explosive barrels on sight for some reason. I think it's like hard coded into the Left 4 Dead 2 AI. I don't know why they shoot barrels, but you definitely want to save that barrel for the tanks. This tank is real tanky for some reason. You see, this tank is trying to read me like a book, and this I got stuck on this weird railing. I don't even know what this is. I got stuck on it. Who this pilot is? This helicopter pilot? He's just, this guy's a clown. I don't know why he can't just pick us up. Oh, but the bridge is all full of debris. He won't be able to land. Man, have you seen what Left 4 Dead 2 pilots are able to do? I mean, Left 4 Dead 2 pilots are nuts. They could land anywhere. Remember No Mercy? That guy was literally like right next to the helicopter pad. He didn't land on it. He was hovering next to it. Are you telling me this pilot can't land on the side of the bridge or hover over the side of the bridge? Instead, we have to take a evacuation truck? And that's another thing. Why can't we just chill inside that little like CETA room like in the parish? Questions we'll never have answers to. Anyways, this penis head pilot drops this box full of stuff. You definitely want to save the bile jars. Trust me. They're gonna be lifesavers later on. You don't have to hold the bile jars, just keep them in place. This is because the rescue, from what I remember, is you have to go to the Hummer. So the two bile jar locations are in one of the towers, and the helicopter pilot just dropped a box with a bile jar. You'll have a small 10-second respite when you kill the tanks. That's when you go and pick up those bile jars. Because remember, we still got to kill tanks. So you definitely want to have the Molotov in your inventory. There we go. Okay, you see all those armored zombies? This is why you want to keep the explosive rounds and your melee. You want to swap between them. Because a turreted gun, for some reason, I mean, you think a turreted gun will be able to, you know, shred through armor, or at least break through armor. Not in this game. Apparently the armor the security zombies have is made of the toughest material on the planet. And that reminds me of a funny comment I read. I don't remember who it was, but it was a really clever comment. And he was just like, it was on the Realism Expert video. He was just like, so Realism Expert, it takes 3 shots for a sniper to kill 1 common infected. Meanwhile, the Deagle, which is apparently a lower caliber bullet, insta-kills them. And I thought that was very funny, because a lot of people bring up that random argument where they say, just use a Deagle, bro, when they don't realize how stupid it sounds that a Deagle is literally just better in the Left 4 Dead 2 universe than a sniper. And that's another thing. How come explosive rounds break through armor, but high caliber turreted weapons don't? The same thing goes with the melees. Like, shotguns are worse than the melees. If you guys know that, like the melees will one-shot everything, except, you know, the tank and the charger and the witch. But the bullets do less damage than a frying pan or a knife. What do you think about that? Does no one question that? How come I'm the only one questioning that? And how come I'm the only one talking about that? Are you really telling me you're gonna agree with a baseball bat guaranteeing a one-shot than a a shotgun? You agree to that? This is why I want to keep the bots alive, because I might not be able to use my primary weapons, but the bots can. I guess that means they're not they're not gonna reload as much. But remember, all the weapons have been nerfed, so it's not really that big of a difference. But you need to keep these bots alive for this the finale, the 4th part of this campaign. Not because they're helping you defend the whole thing. You could probably do that on your own, to be honest. But you'll see why. The ending, you need these bots to distract the tanks. Alright, boys. Hope you've been following. We're about to reach the end of Hometown. Now, this is, in my opinion, the make it or break it point. There is an infinite horde here. That's why I told you to save the bile jars. For this certain location, you're going to need both of those bile jars. From what I remember, the Hummer has a radio on it that takes about 20 seconds to answer. And you definitely do not want the bots defending you while you're answering that radio. You just got past this like 10-minute close to crescendo event, this 10-minute gauntlet of zombies and tanks. And the last thing you want to do after surviving that long ass period of tanks and hordes is to die due to you not being able to defend yourself. That's why you save the bile jars. The bots really struggle on this certain part of the bridge. They will not be able to defend you. Trust me. Look. All I can say is look. There's some pills here. I got pretty lucky with the pills. Now this is the part I'm talking about. This Hummer or this radio will take you a while to answer. Well, there's explosions and stuff going on. I'm not sure how we're not dead. It literally looked like the whole bridge just got bombed, Parish style. This is why you want to keep those bots alive for this moment right here. The tank will be distracted with the bots, buying you a little bit of time. That tank can be your make it or break it point. Because if you don't have any bots alive, that tank's going straight after you and you won't be able to answer the Hummer. And by the time you deal with that tank, your bile jar would run out, there'd be special infected spotting, and there'd be an infinite horde you have to deal with. This is all coming down to you saving the bile jars, luck, and making sure you're in the HP to be running. If you don't have any of that, then you might as well restart and do the entire thing all over again, because you're not going to make it. Now, if you try to do the things I said in the video, like save the bile jars, use the gas cans, use the explosive barrels correctly, you could definitely beat this the first try. But again, it all really comes down to luck and repetition. Alright, now that I finished the campaign, you saw me finish the campaign, I just want to express how it's almost impossible for me to not give a non-biased opinion of Hometown. Because, well, I played Left 4 Dead 2 for so long, and just because I beat the map on expert realism, it doesn't mean I'd rather just not give an opinion. You know what? Now I can clearly see that this ending is like trying to pull on my emotional strings. I don't know what this ending's all about. Show me the concept, you know, the effort put behind the entire construction of the map, development, you know, all the struggles. I appreciate that, you know. In the end of the day, it's a custom map. You didn't have to go that far. You didn't have to make it look pretty. But I wish the map didn't expect the player to give out some sort of empathy or praise due to this ending. This ending is trying to get something like out of the player, almost to feel like, you know, the designer, you put so much effort into it, but the design, the physical design, what the player is playing through is just, it doesn't echo that. It just doesn't. It's hard. It's hard. Yeah, the map's hard, but that doesn't make the map bad or good. Good or bad, that doesn't make a map good or bad. It's the way you make the map hard is what makes the map good. I wish there was more of that hunter event rather than overusing the take in every single part of this campaign. I don't know what else you want me to tell you. I mean, you want me to suck the map's wee? I'm not gonna do that, alright? It's a okay map. And if I were to just lie to you and say it's an excellent map because I beat it on expert realism, or this and that, this, my ego, this, my ego, that, I would be lying to you, and I don't want to lie to nobody. I'm telling you my unfiltered opinion. Yeah, but this is my opinion. I think the map is very, very, very well done aesthetically. It's a beautiful map, fantastically beautiful map. All I can really say is play it on expert realism by yourself, just like I did, and then come back to me and let's talk. Let's have a conversation then. Because otherwise, there's no real way for me to put it other than you need to play the map in order to understand what I'm saying. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I wish I loved the map, but I don't. And that's nonsense. It's just, I feel like the designer was trying to make a hard map. Like, it doesn't have a clear category. Like, it's hard for new players, it's gonna be hard. For players like us, for me, who know life the game, it's not gonna be difficult at all. And so what we have here is a map that is having a somewhat identity crisis, where it's trying to be like a troll map. or I don't know if it's like, yeah, that's the thing. I don't know if it's trying to be a troll map or a genuine map. Either which way, it seems like the map was having an identity crisis through and through. But yeah, it wasn't that bad. Well, that's my first ever time participating in this campaign playthrough type nonsense. I can finally say it because it's the final and the end of the video. I could just let loose and be myself. But sadly, I have to sign out. This is my stuff. This is my genre. This ain't my style. It's time to give back the reins to the video format to the guy who actually made it. Come here, big boy, and take over, cause I don't want to play these maps no more, man. That was a horrible experience.